The National Gallery of Art right here in the nation's capital includes breathtaking faith-based artwork. One piece features Saint Benedict, whose feast we celebrate today. Tara Mergener recently sat down with C.U.A. professor Jem Sullivan to learn more.
We'd like to welcome Dr. Jem Sullivan, Associate Professor at the Catholic University of America. Jem, thanks so much for joining us. First off, tell us a bit about who Saint Benedict was.
Well, thank you for having me. Saint Benedict lived between the years 480 to 547 AD, and since then the Church honors him as a model of holiness and a worker of miracles. Saint Benedict is also revered as the founder and the father of Western monasticism. And as a young man, Benedict fled the corruption of Rome, and his holiness of life and his dedication to prayer began to attract many followers. He wrote a guide for monks and nuns known famously as the Rule of Saint Benedict that helped to spread monasticism and really led to the flowering of Christian faith. And most of what we know about Saint Benedict comes from the writings of Pope Gregory the Great. In the second book of his dialogues, Pope Gregory gives us a kind of biography of Saint Benedict, and this painting depicts one of the many miracles credited to this holy man.
What an incredible history. I want to talk about the art itself. It looks like the painting is divided in half with two scenes. What exactly is being depicted here?
Sure, it appears that the painting is divided into two parts, but in fact, it's one single scene. If we begin on the left side, we see the haloed figure of Saint Benedict with his abbot's staff in hand and his famous rule on his lap. As Pope Gregory's story goes, a young boy named Placidus, who lived in the monastery, was sent to get water from a nearby stream, and the currents were too strong and he begins to drown. Saint Benedict, who sensed that the boy was in danger, calls another monk, Saint Maurice, to rescue the drowning boy. And this is what we see on the right side of the painting. Later on, when the boy recounted his experience, he said he felt the abbot Benedict's cloak overshadow him at the very moment he was being rescued from the waters.
So powerful. I want to ask you also, how prominent of a figure is Saint Benedict overall in religious artwork?
Sure, very much a part of religious artwork, Saint Benedict, because of all the work that his monks and nuns had done to really witness to the gospel, to evangelize culture, and to spread the faith in the medieval Europe. So he was very much a part of what's depicted in art. But he's important for us today because prayer and work, ora et labora, this is the heart of the rule of Saint Benedict, and monks and nuns who followed the spiritual path of Saint Benedict really evangelized. They transformed medieval culture through prayer, through manual labor, learning, and a life of virtue. They rescued their culture with the light of faith in Jesus Christ, just as the child in this painting was rescued from the raging waters.
Incredible information and insight. Jem, thank you so much for joining us. We learned a lot.
Thank you so much.